So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. My name is James Ketchum. I'm the head of the soundboard team at Edge Theory. We are an official Juice Plus partner to provide the soundboard, which provides social media content, and we also offer these free social media trainings just so that you have a good grasp on the intricacies of these platforms. So over the next 6 weeks, we're going to go through the mechanics and best practices for Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're going to talk about some tools that can make your life easier with scheduling with Buffer and Hootsuite. And then we're going to talk about some prospecting tactics on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So I'm going to try to keep it to the 30-minute window that we've got set up. And again, just for the next 6 weeks, please join us on this same Zoom number, and we'll get through all that stuff. So where we start is with this idea that social media, of course, cannot happen in a vacuum. And we've got to have a hold on all 5 of these things here to make social media work, to grow your business. Because one of the things that I encourage people about and challenge people on is this idea that it's just enough to post. And if you're just posting, then everything's going to work out fine. And it's really not like that. Okay, there's a two-way street to social media. There's a conversation communication aspect. And so posting is a very important side of things, but we also want you comfortable with the platform so that you can communicate, be real, be yourself, tell your story, and respond to people in a timely manner. Okay, so the 5 steps that we're going to go through is go. Sorry, told you. So the first step is, of course, the education piece. You gotta know how to work within these platforms so that you're comfortable. The second piece is content. Again, the soundboard provides content for you, but you also have to tell your story. You can't just be just sharing healthy living articles all the time and expect to get a huge reaction. You've got to be yourself. You've got all your passions have to come through. The third part of this is branding, like it or not. As a business owner, as a franchise owner, you are a brand. And I hear this from soundboard subscribers all the time. And we're going to hammer this point home, especially tonight and in week 3, that people are always looking at your profile. People are always watching what you do. And social media is a hard thing to get a bead on sometimes on the success of it, because so few people actually end up engaging with posts, commenting on posts. Most people just read. And one of these future lessons, I'm going to show you how you can tell that. But most people just consume. So all that to say, you don't really ever know who's looking at your stuff. And way more people are looking at it than you think. And so it matters how you come across, and it matters how you appear on these platforms. So we're really going to harp on that, especially tonight. The fourth piece of this, which will come in one of the future weeks, is social media gives you great analytics tools to figure out who your audience is and their interests. And we want to leverage those interests to speak to what people care about. And the fifth piece of this is the conversation side of things. Okay. Again, trying to gently but firmly push back against this idea that folks say, well, I posted for a month and nobody asked me to buy anything, so I'm just going to stop doing it. Well, that's really not the right approach to take to this, because you have to go out and listen to people. You have to go out and talk to them and turn this into a two-way thing. All that will result in your business growing through these contacts that you make on social media. Okay, so that's where we're headed with all this. So tonight, first thing we want to focus on is the branding side of this, specifically on Twitter, because we want the things that you care about to come through. And we want you to come across as a professional and as a person who knows what they're doing and is comfortable on these platforms. Twitter, we all know, is the weirdest of all the social media platforms. It's the one with the highest learning curve, but it's also the most misunderstood because it is the most powerful. It is not a Facebook clone. So let's start there, okay? So the first thing we would need to talk through is your profile. Your profile is not something that Twitter makes you set up like Facebook does. This is not mandatory. To create a Twitter account, all you need is an email address and to pick your name. And once you create that, it doesn't ever actually walk you through how to set your profile up. And so what happens is if you don't set your profile up, and I'll tell y'all this is a little outdated. They've just changed this over the past month or so. It used to be an egg. Now it's a little gray shoulder and head silhouette. But basically, if you don't set up your profile, you look like this, and you look like somebody who doesn't know their way around Twitter. Okay, this is important for a couple of reasons. Let's go over here and hop over to Twitter Live and show you a couple of things. So let's go to my profile. So this is the Juice Plus helper handle that my team and I run to answer questions about the soundboard. Okay, so there's a couple of things when you're setting up your profile that you got to think about. The first thing is you've got to have an image here, and this is considered your icon image. Now, Twitter did have a nice square for the longest time, and they've changed it to a circle, and I don't like it at all because it's harder to find a good-looking picture that actually fits in a circle, but that's what we're stuck with because Twitter doesn't care what I think. So you have to find a picture to go here, and I'm going to pick on somebody. If you're on the call, sorry. So we're going to take a look at my followers here. And let's see how far we have to scroll before we find somebody who does not have an image. Ah, wow, I'm proud of everybody. People have been taking my advice. Okay, Jamie, if you're on the call, sorry to pick on you. But if you don't fill your profile out, okay, here's what you look like. Nothing. Now, there's two problems with this. And if you've been on Soundboard for a while, and we've been tweeting for you, and you're thinking, well, it's not working. My first question to you is your profile set up? If the answer is no, then the reason that it's probably not working is because if your profile looks like this, the rest of Twitter doesn't know that you're a real person. You don't show up in search, and Twitter actively downgrades your ability to get found by other people because Twitter is doing a huge push in 2017 to disable and to prevent hate speech, which is a great thing. They're also doing a massive effort to downgrade the ability for ISIS to recruit on their platform, which is also a great thing. But one of the little subtexts of this big press release that they announced a couple of months ago is they're going to start shutting down accounts that have no profiles and that are active through other systems tweeting for them, okay? So I'm saying all that to say if you signed up for Soundboard and Soundboard is tweeting for you, which I'm not tweeting here for Jamie, but if Soundboard is tweeting for you and you've never set up your profile, all Twitter sees is an empty profile and an outside system passing messages through your profile, okay? And Twitter allows that. Twitter allows outside systems to tweet for their users. But after a while, if you don't log on to Twitter, if you don't engage with people, if you don't do something to show Twitter that you are a real person, then you will get put in Twitter jail, which means your account stops functioning. It's pretty easy to get out of Twitter jail. All you have to do is log on, fill out your profile, and go retweet somebody or go follow somebody, and you're showing Twitter, hey, I'm a real person. I know what I'm doing here. Sorry to make a big stink about this, but it's critical. Okay, it's critical that you do this if you want to have any kind of effectiveness on the platform. So when you fill out your profile, you've got to have your icon. I recommend making it personal. Remember, we want to see the face behind who you are. Then you have this huge, wide, crazy wide banner back here that's 1,500 by 500 pixels that is hard to find a good-looking image for. We made this. You can use Canva. You can use Adobe Spark. There's a lot of great sources that will size it for you. But I recommend putting something back there. Then you have a couple of opportunities to customize over here. This is your whatever you want it to be. If your name is Sam Smith, there can be 10,000 Sam Smiths on Twitter, and you can all have Sam Smith right here. This does not have to be unique. This that follows the @ symbol is actually your Twitter handle. This is what you tell people when you say, follow me. This has to be completely unique to the platform. Okay, if your name is Sam Smith, sorry, you're not going to get Sam Smith for your Twitter handle. So what you need to do is to be creative, because Twitter is not. Again, I'm going to pick on somebody here. I saw one as I was scrolling. When you sign up for Twitter and your name is Sam Smith, and you realize that you're not going to be able to get your name, Twitter is going to give you some suggestions on what you think it should, on what they think your name should be. Denise, if you're on the call, sorry to pick on you. Denise here probably accepted one of Twitter's suggested names, which is simply her first initials or first couple of letters from her name, and then a random string of numbers. I highly recommend against accepting this as a useful Twitter name, because nobody's going to remember 6 or 7 or 8 digits, okay? Now, if you got stuck with a name like this and you've already created your account, you can change it. It is not a disaster. You come up here to your profile, you click on your profile, and you get this drop down. And if you go to settings, the very first thing that you can do here is change your username. And so you can play with whatever you want, first initial, last name, underscore JP, you know, D loves JP, underscore, something like that. Be creative with it. If you have a unique name, of course, you're lucky. But you got to do that to overcome Twitter's brain dead suggestion, okay? Then you have 140 characters here to tell the world a little bit about yourself. Then you have the opportunity to put a link in here. I recommend your Juice Plus site, or if you have a larger brand that Juice Plus is part of your offering, put your brand site there. And then I also do recommend there's a field that lets you put your location. I didn't do it because this is the business handle and it's irrelevant. But if you are a person, you want Twitter to know where you are and people to know where you are, and it will do a much better job of connecting you with real local businesses and real local people, okay? Now, at this point, I must say, you have got to leave some of the lessons that Facebook has taught us at the side of the road when you venture onto the Twitter highway, okay? Because it is not the same place. It is not the same platform. It is a good thing to be somewhat selective on your friend requests on Facebook. It is good to kind of keep those walls up a little bit, because Facebook, you want to be comfortable enough on Facebook to share what's going on in your life and in your heart, and those naked baby photos. That is the place for that. Twitter is not the place for your naked baby photos, okay? Twitter is not the place for conversations between you and your best friend. This is a completely public platform. Everything you do on this platform is searchable and findable, okay? Ask some politicians who thought they were getting away with something and their careers are over. So this platform, when you approach it, you've got to think of it in terms of, if Facebook is the backyard barbecue with your friends and family and everybody's comfortable and it's probably okay to bring up politics and religion, Twitter is the place where it's a cocktail party, okay? And everybody is strangers, and your purpose there is to rub elbows and enter into conversations and find interesting people to talk to, but it's way more surface. And that, okay? So all that to say, it's not a bad thing for you to announce your location on Twitter, because you want to connect with people in your area who you have no idea who they are. And I know that that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes when we've come from this world of Facebook of, you know, having our guard up a little bit, which we needed to. But Twitter, you're sharing information about healthy living and your business and a little bit about who you are. You do not need to have those walls up, all right? People are going to be looking at your profile. And one of the lessons down the road, I will show you how you can tell how many people are looking at your profile. And it will surprise you, because they may or may not even end up following you. but they're checking you out. Okay. All right. Don't forget, please ask questions as we go in the chat window if you have questions. Okay. Next thing, a tweet. What is a tweet? A tweet is a message sent out on Twitter. It has a 140 character limit. Why is that? Because when Twitter was built in 2006, 140 characters was the limit for a text message, an SMS message. Back when we had to pay, 10 extra bucks a month on our cell phone bill for 50 text messages. Remember those days? Twitter tried to kind of be the web version of that and maybe disrupt that market a little bit. Well, it never really caught on like they wanted it to, but they've kept that limit in place, although obviously they don't need to. They've kept it in place because it helps to define the platform, and Twitter is so fast. Twitter's all about getting the word out and consuming and picking up news quickly, and that's why they've kept it. So you've got to be brief. Okay, a tweet. When a tweet goes out, yes, we want our tweets to be seen by our followers. Okay, but this is where Twitter far outshines Facebook in its ability to connect you with people, because on Facebook's like Vegas. What happens on Facebook stays on Facebook from a web perspective. Okay, Facebook is like this little bowling ball. There's not a lot of ways in and out of it. Twitter is Swiss cheese compared to that. Okay, Twitter is a social media platform, but it's also a content distribution platform. Okay, it is a publishing platform. When you tweet, yes, it goes out to your followers, however many you have. But please don't think that because you only have 50 followers or 295 followers that you are not doing a good job on this platform, because when you tweet, it can be seen, and it will be seen by way more people than that on the platform, especially if you're using hashtags, because it comes up in search, because it's all public. When you tweet, I'm going to show you what Google does. Google and Twitter have an official marriage. Okay, when Google goes out and scrapes the web, yeah, it brings websites back, but it also brings back tweets. Look, I don't even have to have a Twitter account. I just put in #healthy in a Google search, and the very first thing that comes up are tweets. People can not even have a Twitter platform, think Twitter's stupid, and still read your stuff and get connected to who you are, okay, and to your content right here. Okay, you got an Instagram search, you got a dictionary search, and then Twitter search right here, Twitter. So don't limit yourself to thinking, well, my audience really isn't on Twitter. A, don't make that assumption, and B, even if you're right, they're on Google. Everybody's on Google. If you ask Siri a question on your phone, she brings back web results, she brings back tweets. Okay, the point is tweets get shot all over the web, and you're really missing an opportunity to connect with people if you're not on it. Okay, you can tweet out pictures, you can tweet out links to videos. They embed right there. People don't have to leave Twitter. They can watch the video right there. It's really great. Now, when you are ready to write a tweet, this works on the desktop or on the mobile device. You hit the tweet button. You are going to start typing, tomorrow starts #kids eat right month. Let's encourage more fruits and veggies with our kids. Okay, tell the world what you think. You can drop a picture in and a GIF. You can add a poll if you want to ask a question. And then boom, it's out and it's gone. And again, it's out to whoever is using, whoever's following us. But then when you include a hashtag, whoever is using that hashtag will be seeing your stuff, regardless of whether or not they follow you. Okay, very, very powerful. How do you get followers? Sandra, hold that thought. We will revisit that, but very good question. Can you recall a tweet? Yes, you can. Click on this arrow, delete tweet, and it will do that. Okay, let's talk a little bit trying to move and keeping our time window here. Replying to a tweet, starting a conversation with somebody. If somebody tweets something that you are interested in and you want to respond to them, here is Health Ranger, great account to follow. Health Ranger has lots of nutrition information. He's got a great cartoon here about the pharmacy. When you hit this reply button at the bottom, and they've just changed the appearance of it, it now looks like a bubble. They just did this to me the other day. So the reply now looks like a bubble. But when you hit that and you're replying to somebody directly, notice that the tweet starts with their name. So Twitter will automatically populate that for you, and then you respond to whatever you want, however you want. So Health Ranger is going to get a notification that someone is talking to him. And I know Health Ranger is a very savvy Twitter user, so he will respond back to you. Okay, and so this is how you begin that ice-breaking cocktail party level conversation. If you see something that interests you on the platform, just talk to them. Okay, it's kind of like leaning over at the grocery store and asking somebody about why they have 40 heads of lettuce in their shopping cart because they're having a salad in a jar party or whatever. You just strike up an easy conversation with people. Now, when you want to retweet something, okay, what a retweet is, it's very similar to a share on Facebook. A retweet is you find a piece of content that you're interested in. You're telling the creator of the content, hey, I value this piece of content so much that I want to share it to my followers who might not follow you, and I want to give them a higher chance of seeing this. So you're actually sharing it and then publishing it through your timeline when you retweet something. And to retweet something, all you have to do is hit this little button down here and with the two arrows, and it will publish to your timeline. Okay, so every tweet out there has that. I don't want to retweet my own message. That would be dorky, wouldn't it? But anyway, that's how you do it. You just hit that right there. Now, a like is a little different on Twitter, but keep in mind it is not a private thing. When you like something on Twitter, it does not publish to your home to your published feed. Okay, your followers don't see it right off, but it is a way to acknowledge to a content creator, hey, I value what you have to say. The other way to use it is a bookmarking system. When I am on Twitter and I want to read headlines, but I don't want to leave Twitter, if I see an article title that catches me, I will like that, and then I can bookmark it and find it later pretty easily. Now, back to the public nature of the platform. Whenever you go to anybody's profile, all right, and this is a live Twitter search, so sorry if this gets a little out of control. Let's go to Trina's Twitter handle, okay? Trina is a Juice Plus person. Notice I can do a couple of things. I can see every conversation that Trina's having if she's having them. All right, so you notice that I was looking at her tweets. Now I'm looking at her tweets and replies. So if there is a conversation going on, which there doesn't seem to be, I can see the back and forth of that. So that's why this is so public. The other thing I can do is I can see everything that Trina has liked. Okay, so she's liked other people's tweets. And again, not a private thing. Now, remember, these likes don't show up in your published feed to your followers, but you can be nosy and see anything that anybody else likes. So tread lightly, be careful, when you're cruising the Twitter highway. All right, last thought for tonight, and then I want to have any questions answered if you have any. I know I'm going fast, but again, trying to honor that 30-minute window. The last thing I want you to think about tonight for Twitter is the public versus private accounts. When you set up an account on Twitter, it is by default public. My 2 cents is that you keep it that way. You might have set up an account and had, again, that Facebook mentality kind of poking in, and you thought, oh, look, I can lock my account, which restricts it. It means that only my followers can see my content. That's a good thing. I want to be private. Okay, that's a good thing on Facebook. It's not a good thing on Twitter because you are not going to pick up new followers. You are not going to grow your account organically. You are not going to be able to engage with people. You're not going to show up in search. So if you are trading state secrets on Twitter, and you absolutely have to have a locked account that only 5 other people can see and engage with, I recommend one of 2 things. A, either moving the state secrets off of Twitter because they don't belong on Twitter, or B, setting up a second account on Twitter to be your public-facing, healthy living persona side of your life. Because I see people on a fairly frequent basis sign up for Soundboard, and they pay me to tweet for them every single day, but they have a locked account and they have 3 followers, and they've had 3 followers for the last 2 years. Because when you find a locked account, you have to ask permission to follow that account. So whenever you're scrolling and you're interested, you can see who follows me, right? And if you scroll down and we see somebody who's got that padlock by their name, I don't have time to mess with it because you can follow them. Wow, not too many locked accounts. See, people are taking my advice. It makes me feel so good. But if you find a locked account that you're interested in, here's one. Jasmine, if you're on the call, sorry to pick on you. When I hit follow here, watch what happens. Pending. A follow request has been sent to this person and is pending their approval. I don't have time to mess with that, okay? Nobody else has time to mess with your account if it's locked. So you are missing out on the powerful public nature of Twitter if you don't, what was I saying? You're missing out on Twitter if you lock your account because you're missing out on the opportunity to connect into these larger conversations, okay? Now, Susan, thank you for that comment. So tonight, again, it was all about thinking through how you come across on Twitter. Next week, we're going to dive into a little bit more in-depth mechanics of navigating the platform, picking up followers, how to gauge trending topics. August is Kids Eat Right Month. It's a big national thing. I highly recommend you dipping into that. You'll see on Twitter when you search for a hashtag. Remember, we're thinking about this from a public perspective. When we look for the hashtag Kids Eat Right, we are finding stuff. Everybody who's using this hashtag, think of it as a conversation cataloging or indexing system. So we're seeing all these people who are using it, and you, as a Soundboard subscriber, are also being included in this conversation because starting tomorrow, we're going to be tweeting about Kids Eat Right Month on your behalf. So your stuff is seen and included in this huge conversation, and you will get noticed by people who don't know who you are and probably don't know what Juice Plus is, but now you are involved in that larger conversation. Okay, so that's the big picture philosophy behind why Twitter is so valuable. Now, if you have not signed up for Soundboard, we'd love to have you. This is not a explanation series of Soundboard, how it works, but I'll be happy to answer questions about it. I did want to throw this one in there. This is a total freebie, social30.juiceplus.vip. If you visit that link, that is a free, no strings attached ebook, PDF that you can download. You can print it out. You can save it. You can send it to your team. But it is a 30-day guide to growing your business on social media with action steps that you can take every single day for a month and learn something new about social and find new ways to connect with people on social. So give that a look-see. Again, no strings attached. Is the hashtag subject just a word phrase that you make up? So Paula asks, can you make up a hashtag? Paula, you can make up a hashtag. Hashtag I love brand new carpeting. But if you make up a hashtag and no one else is using it, then you are shouting into an empty room, okay? If you use a hashtag that other people use, like hashtag healthy, then your piece of content gets included in all this other conversation, including people like the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Health Institute and some of these other huge organizations that are using that hashtag. You can make up a hashtag to be funny, but if nobody else is using it, then you're not being seen because nobody else knows to look for it. Does that make sense? That's not a silly question. We'll unpack that more next week. Okay. I know this is a weird time of night. At least for me, it is. I'm in Central Time. Thanks for joining. I will post the recording here in a little while. I'm going to go eat my dinner, kiss my babies, and then get on another call, probably just like you are, because it's Monday night, the night for Juice Plus calls. I hope everybody has a great time. I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.